Go ahead, Magistrate.
Got it. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is a code compliance hearing for the city of North Miami. Today is August 1st, 2023. The year is gone. My name is Beatrice Cazo, Special Magistrate for the city of North Miami. The purpose of this hearing is to determine if a code violation exists at your property as observed and cited by a code enforcement a code compliance officer of the city. If the city is not able to prove its case, then I will dismiss the case. These proceedings are being recorded, therefore all persons who are speaking should do so one at a time to ensure that all testimony is clearly audible on the recording device. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. We have a translator who will assist you during the proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, and any witness that you may have should click on the raise hand button on your screen so you can be acknowledged. When asked, please state your full name, your business or mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner, or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware of and understand the violation that is being heard today, and do you understand what is required to resolve the violation? Please answer accordingly. The city will present its case first, and then the property owner and or violator will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf, to bring forward witnesses to testify, to present evidence and photographs, and to cross-examine the city's witnesses. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city codes exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement date for the violation to be resolved. Or for repeat violations, I will impose a daily fine amount. For new, non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation and a daily fine amount that I may impose at a future hearing date should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table this case proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact and or ruling, then the property owner may appeal the administrative order on the case to the circuit court. An appeal must be filed within 30 days of the date of the execution of the administrative order to be appealed. In accordance with Florida statutes, if a person decides to appeal any decision made by the special magistrate with respect to any matter considered at these proceedings, then the person will need a verbatim record of the proceeding. This record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The cost of obtaining the verbatim record shall be the sole responsibility of the appellate. And it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal their case should provide their own court reporter at this proceeding. Pursuant to city codes, if the city of North Miami prevails in prosecuting a case before the special magistrate, the city shall be entitled to recover all costs incurred in prosecuting the case. The current cost assessment amount is $100 per case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, then the city will charge additional administrative fees to record and release the lien. Madam Clerk.
Magistrate, I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the instructions for today's magistrate hearing. Thank you for participating in today's special magistrate. I'll review the process by which today's hearing will be conducted. Make sure your device is muted at all times unless you are giving testimony on the case. If you are using two devices to participate in today's hearing, be sure your audio is only enabled on one device. When your case is called, if you are signed into Zoom, you will receive notification giving you access to audio and video so that you may give your testimony. If you are physically here in person and wish to give testimony, you must sign in with the code clerk and await a text message indicating your case is ready to be heard. Upon receiving that text message, you should immediately come to the office to be provided access to a computer. If you would like to speak on behalf of a case, once the case is called, you should click the raise hand button to be acknowledged. Before giving your testimony on your case, please state your name, property address, and relationship to the property. If you wish to have an interpreter assist you during your case, please indicate that when your case is called. Magistrate, that conclude all the instructions for today. And as far as for any deletions to today's agenda, I'm going to go ahead and call item number 2. 1590 Cortero Corp. Case number is CEMHS 2022-00541. This case has been postponed. Item number 6, case number is CEEXC 2022-0029. This case postponed. Item number 12, CEODS 2022-00191. This case postponed. And item number 16, case number is CEAHI 2022-0029, case postponed as well. And at this time, we'll proceed with the pledge for today's hearing.
Okay. Can you repeat? It was item number 6, 12, and which one, which else?
Item
Well-
number 2, 6, 12, and 16.
Got it. Okay. We're ready for the pledge? I think the officer is present for the pledge.
I am.
Okay, I'm waiting for everyone to turn
Okay.
their cameras on. I don't know what's going on. You may proceed, officer.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the United States
of
of America and to the
and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, who's gonna do the swearing in?
I'll be doing that as well.
Okay, great.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say aloud, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
If the Spanish interpreter, Spanish and Creole interpreters can please turn on your cameras. Creole and Spanish interpreters, if you can please, I'm missing the Creole interpreter. Always trying to connect.
Hello.
We can hear you now, Mackinson, but we can't see you.
Yes, good morning. I just tried to turn on the camera and the system kicked me out for some reason. I had to log back in, but okay, I think it's working now.
Perfect, we can see you now.
Okay.
All right.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the translations which you are about to give in these proceedings will be accurate and correct to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Say, I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Before you leave, Officer Sanders, Shauna Sanders. Is Shauna giving testimony today?
She is.
She's coming to the computer right now.
My apologies, my apologies. I had a resident at the window asking about a case. My apologies. What case are we on?
We need to swear you in.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did we lose the officer? Oh, she's here. Officer Marjorie. Officer Thalon. I hope I said her name correctly.
Okay. I mean, trying to touch on her stuff. Okay. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Are you ready, Shauna?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say aloud, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Madam Clerk, if you're ready, please call your first case.
Magistrate, the first case I'll be calling in today is item number 7, D&D Company Properties LLC. Case number is CFAW 2022-0084, and the officer is Shannon Sanders. Give me 1 second while I allow the attendee access.
Is it Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Ben Fernandez, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, here on behalf of the property owner.
All right, thank you, sir. Who's the officer?
I am Code Officer Sanders. Mr. Fernandez, do you have someone else logging on? I'm looking at the notes here and it's saying someone else is logging on for this. Is that correct?
I do,
Yeah.
I have my partner Mickey Marrero on as well.
Morning.
Good morning. Please state your full name for the record and your relationship to the property.
Yes, Mickey Marrero, 200 South Biscayne Boulevard, attorney for the property owner, like Mr. Fernandez.
Thank you, sir.
Shanna Sanders, Neighborhood Service Inspector. This is a new case for a property address 12640 Northeast 6th Avenue for non-maintenance in or failure to maintain the fence and wall surrounding the property. This violation was originally cited August 8th of 2022, whereas I met and walked through the property with I believe it was another attorney or someone associated with the property along with our director at that time. We spoke about different things that the property being the fence in detailed. They say that they would pull a permit, they would make the necessary repairs to the fence. Long story short, a year later, fence still remains in the same condition. No permits have been submitted to the city. So I'll let the attorneys explain what's going on with the property and what's taking so long, or why haven't any permits been obtained in or the fence being repaired at this time.
Yes,
I see the fence, please. Can I see pictures of what's?
The photos were submitted to the city. I believe they could, yeah, there we go.
While she's pulling up the photos, Magistrate, we've met at the property on August 8th, as well as had several conversations over the past year in reference to them repairing this wall. As you see here on the August 8th photos, this is what the property looked like when we walked the property. And it still shows like that when I did my reinspection on July 20th of this year.
All right, let me give the attorney an opportunity to respond.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Ms. Saunders. How are you? It was myself that walked with you some time ago, and thank you very much for working with us in relation to this property. Your Honor, if I may take you back a bit, this property is obviously a non-conforming shopping center. This alley in the back, or driveway in the back, is a shared driveway. And so this wall is something that we're prepared to fix, and we actually will be filing an application for repair with the contractor. However, we have made several improvements to the property prior to getting to this wall issue. As Ms. Saunders, I think, can confirm, we've cleaned up the loading situation. As some of those pictures that were just brought up on the screen demonstrate, there's no longer any loading equipment being stored in the alley. Cars are now being parked in the back area, whereas before that was being used as a sort of permanent loading. So we have been working with the city to improve this property considerably. The property has been painted. There have been improvements to windows. There have been, in fact, some permits submitted to the city. There's an HVAC permit application that was submitted to the city. And we have also submitted a restriping proposal to our contractor, or expecting a proposal from the contractor for that work. We had an issue with respect to the certificate of use for the property that needed to be renewed. And that took some time because there was an open permit that had to be closed. That was closed. The CU has now been issued, and it's CU number 002769. And that is ready to be released. We're just waiting for the BTR that follows to be issued. We understand that there's a process to get the BTR issued. And so once we have the BTR and the CU is released, we're ready to obtain permits, and we're ready to do the work. We appreciate the time that the city's taken to work with us, and we're moving forward in good faith. We're sorry that it's taken so long, but some of these things were just part of the record that we weren't aware of, like the open permit that needed to be closed.
So you're saying that repairing the wall is part of a bigger project that you guys have right now?
Yes. And I will note that wall, it's on the property line. I don't know that there are permits that necessarily tie it to our property. Nevertheless, we're prepared to fix it. And we definitely are fixing the wall on the building that needs to be fixed. But there are also improvements projected for the parking lot, which the city in the past has asked us to improve, restripe, and upgrade. There's an HVAC permit, and there's a roof permit that has already been submitted to the city for repairs to the roof.
Yeah, and I think just to add, Your Honor, just want to point out, the perimeter wall permit was actually submitted some time ago to the city, but there were some engineering comments raised. So they're addressing those comments. That will be modified and resubmitted, we believe, sometime in the next 30 or so days. In addition, the concrete wall fence, that is going to be submitted within 30 days as well. As Mr. Fernandez pointed out, the issue is the CU doesn't allow you to the failure to have a CU didn't allow us to process permits. Now that that's been resolved, we can now proceed with those issues. And I think you'd be looking at a lot more violations today had they not taken care of the other original things that were cited. All that we're left with is these wall issues, which we now know how and how quickly we can resolve. So we believe we can resolve all of this, including obtaining the permits and completing the work within something like 90 days. And should for some reason there be a delay administratively on the permitting, we can come back to you and request more time. But this is the last remaining items on what's been a multi-year process in upgrading this property. It had been had been allowed to sort of degrade over time, and changing the way that the operations work outside for purposes of addressing neighbor concerns, painting, restriping, all these things are a collection of things that have been done to improve this property. What remains is these walls and fences, and we're wrapping that up relatively soon as well.
Yeah, Your Honor, and just to add to what Mr. Marrero said, the owner has gone out of his way to lease a warehouse where now the products that arrive to the store are being stored. So storage is taking place off-site, whereas before there was some overspill of storage into the area near the alley. So that is a huge step forward towards cleaning up the operation, and really it's a victim of its own success, because I think it's a very popular store that attracts all people from all over. So obviously they're doing something right here, and we want to continue to improve.
All right, Officer Sanders.
Judge and Magistrate, if we can, and my apologies, I've had these conversations with the attorneys as well as the property owner. This has been even before I initially cited them. Just to give a little history on this, even before we walked the property, there were violations open, there were minor repairs made. There has been conversations about permits being issued, submitted to the city, things of that nature. I mean, a year is a long time to still be waiting for an application to be submitted to the city. I just spoke with Mr. Fernandez yesterday, and he did bring to my attention the situations that are going on with the certificate of use in the BTR. However, that does not stop or hinder them from at least submitting the application to the city. So, I am asking for this case to be adjudicated. We can give them some time to to submit it if they want 90 days, but I would at least like an adjudication on file to get the ball rolling with at least submitting some applications.
This started in August.
This case was originally opened August 8th of 2022. However, I will want to put on record, even before opening this case, we walked the property, we spoke, before opening it even gave them 3 months to get the applications rolling. Once I saw that the application wasn't submitted to the city, that's when I didn't move forward with opening up the violations. We gave them what we consider a courtesy to submit them, because Red, White, and Blue is a big business in the city, is right on the corner, main thoroughfares of North Miami. So, we were trying to work with them, but after 3 months, no application submitted. So I don't want to focus so much on just August 8th. These were violations that were existing prior to that. But again, just for the record, it was opened on the 8th, but we've been talking about this well before then. I see you're talking, Michael,
Yeah,
it's been
sorry.
muted. Okay.
Yeah, I apologize. I think we're on the same page, Your Honor, with the city, and I had been in touch with the city attorney's office as well, preceding this hearing. We're okay with adjudication, because obviously the fence and the wall is in disrepair. But if we could have 90 days, as mentioned, we can have an adjudication with 90 days. I think by then we'll be able to have the permit and complete it and be in compliance. Again, all the other items are not before you because they've been addressed. What's remaining is these walls that we are already in process of resolving. So I think the city's seeking an adjudication, we understand. As long as we have the time to get it done, I think we're all on the same page.
Okay, just one small concern. Is it falling off? Because I see some of the bricks are missing and some of it are on the ground. Is it a hazard?
I would consider it a hazard, Magistrate, if you want. I'm not sure if the building official is on. Maybe he wants to chime in
I
and
don't
give
see him.
more insight. Is he here, Edme? The
See-
building official. Oh, he's not here.
He's
To
not
me, visual wise, as you can see in the photos, the pictures speaks volumes, and it looks even worse in person. It is falling apart. As stated in their testimony, they have trucks come in and out every day. It's very busy over there. They hit it almost monthly, if not weekly, and more of it is falling apart. So yeah, it is a hazard.
All right, guys, just make sure that it is secured. I will give you that, I will give you the 90 days. I do find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city. I entered adjudication. You guys have 90 days, but within those 90 days, maybe within the next 15 days or so, can you just make sure that you have, this thing is not falling and that nobody gets hurt because bricks are falling as, I don't know, people walk by. I'm not really sure where this location is, but if you're saying that it's a very busy area and it's a well-known, you said a strip mall, a shopping center?
It's
So-
right here on the corner of 125th and 6th Avenue, right behind the Walgreens. But it's very busy.
Okay, so again, adjudication 90 days. Just
Magistrate.
know that if with, yes,
Sorry for interrupting. Our date of abatements for today's hearing is September 21st, October 19th, and November 16th.
September 21st, October,
19th
uh-huh,
and
November
November 16th.
16th, so 90 days, your abatement date will be 11/16. And if it's not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500. Thank you, guys.
Before I get you off the phone, both attorneys, if you can, we spoke a little bit, Mr. Fernandez, yesterday. Even though those cases aren't on the agenda, please make sure you, as you stated, you did submit an application, but those permits were denied September and October of last year, and no movement have been made with those. We are granting an extension, but make sure someone from Red, White, and Blue or from your company get to the city to see what's going on and make those revisions to those permits so that we can get all of this off the agenda, as a whole.
Yes, Ms. Saunders, I'm in touch with our client and they have committed to reinitiate those permits. And we'll be moving forward with you, and I will keep you abreast of our progress.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. All right, have a good one.
Magistrate, I'm gonna proceed with item number 21 and 22. We
Okay,
have Samantha Melvin for item number 21. Case number is CESTA 2022-00060. And item number 22, case number is CESTA 2022-00077. And then we have Jose Perez here today.
all right. Good morning, ma'am. Please state your full name and relationship to the property.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Rachel Streifeld. I'm with the Caldera Law Firm at 7293 Northwest 2nd Avenue in Miami, and I am the attorney representing Samantha McKenna. Her maiden name is Melvin.
Okay, thank you.
Morning, Madam Magistrate.
Good
Today
morning.
we're hearing the case in regards to the property at 1963 Northeast 123rd Street. These two cases will be treated as a repeat offender due to the fact that they were found guilty from a case in June 13, 2018, from a citation that was issued that they paid for. Therefore, by paying for the citation, they're admitting to guilt. In reference to the cases, they are for short-term rental advertisements that to this day are still active as of my final reinspection. And at this time, if we could have the clerk go ahead and show the images.
Give me 1 second.
Here we have a listing for VRBO as it relates to the property. Modern bright Key West style 2-bedroom townhouse with dock is being advertised for $213 a night. As you can see, this advertisement was dated, there's a timestamp on the date, July 26th, 23rd at 5:09 p.m. I pulled this advertisement And you can see here, it's renting the property. It's advising even bring your boat, single family home on the canal, off the intercoastal, hosted by Samantha. As you can see here, it even has blatantly, obviously, that the property owner is the host of said property. And that's for the first listing for the first violation. At this point in time, the city is requesting for another adjudication, but as well as a monetary fine as a repeat offender due to the sheer disregard for the ordinances. This property has a history of short-term rental advertisement violations. As a matter of fact, from 2018 to current, there's been 7 cases as it relates to short-term advertisement at the property. So at this time, I conclude my presentation for the first case. Would you like to hear the presentation for the second case, or should we wait for the ruling first?
You can proceed to the second case, and then I'll give Counselor an opportunity to respond to both cases.
Not a problem. As it relates to the second case, if we could have the clerk open up the images. It's at the same property, 1963 Northeast 123rd Street, as it relates to short-term rental advertisements, as previously mentioned. This time, these advertisements are through a different server. These are through Airbnb, a different website. You can see here, they're still being hosted by Samantha, the property owner, at $264 a night. Waterfront key style, 2-bedroom townhouse with dock. There's even over 21, actually it says 21 reviews with a 4.76 rating. So there's been quite some activity at this property based even just off the reviews itself. As previously mentioned, these were pulled on July 26, 2023, and unfortunately, the property owner has not taken down the advertisements as of the final recheck. This violation is quite old, actually. These violations are from 2022. As a matter of fact, the original cases were open in September 2022 and August 2022. So as you can tell, the property owner has pretty much ignored any notices from the city until recently when we came about this hearing. That's when council pulled the public records request as relates to the history of the property and the violation in the case. But prior to that, the property owner sheer disregard for any circumstances with a short-term advertisement. That concludes my presentation.
All right, Attorney Streitfeld.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. And I don't dispute anything that Mr. Perez stated here for the record, except for the most important fact, which is that my client's advertisements do not violate the ordinances of the city of North Miami. And it is on the city to meet the burden of proving that we violate the ordinance. So your code provides that in section 5-30D, the rental of single-family residential property for a period of less than 3 months shall not be advertised. And that coincides with the land development regulations and the standards for short-term vacation rental, is that you cannot rent a property for fewer than 90 days, and you cannot rent a property more than 4 times in 1 calendar year. The code enforcement officer is presenting the Airbnb and VRBO listings with the details of, you know, how she's advertising the property with the dock availability and so on and so forth. But the important thing here is that the listings are still up, but they specify that there's a 90-day or more stay. My client actually retained me at the very deadline to submit evidence. But if Your Honor wishes to continue the case, I'd be happy to forward screenshots of text messages between my client and people requesting to stay at the property who have requested fewer than 90 days where she has turned them down. I can also send screenshots of the listing as it exists today, which very clearly provides for a 90-day minimum. So again, the code says you can do a vacation rental, but it has to be for longer than 90 days. You can advertise a property on a vacation rental platform, but it has to be advertised for 90 days. And that's exactly what we do.
Your Honor, I have screenshots depicting that the rental is being accepted for 5 nights on the attachments, actually. If we could refer back to the images, we could even refer back to the dates that are being placed on here. If you scroll up just a little bit, scroll down to the next one, there's 2 advertisements on that one.
Your Honor, what he's going to show you is a request to book for 5 nights. The way that the Airbnb platform works is that even if a property owner is responsible and minding the city's code, and they say it's a 90-day review, anyone can go onto Airbnb and request to book the property for fewer than those 90 days. And then there becomes a back and forth on Airbnb on their messages platform, and the owner can reject that listing. So this is a request to book for 5 days, but I don't believe that Mr. Perez would be able to show that he had confirmed a reservation for fewer than 90 days because that just wouldn't happen.
Yes, but the ordinance is very specific to the advertisement of under 90 days. And at this point in time, you can see the advertisement speaks to 5 specific days. So therefore would be constitution of a violation with the city ordinance. Whether they want to use a different platform, that's up to the property owner. However, because it's allowing you to look at the property for under 90 days, it would be constituted as a violation.
That's an interesting, so, Your Honor, I apologize. I just do want to respond to what Mr. Perez is saying. The property clearly has a minimum of 90-day reservation. You all, maybe you don't know how the Airbnb platform works. This is not something that my client can control. She's owned this property for over 20 years. She lived in it for many years. She had long-term tenants for many years, and now she's at a place in her life where she's traveling frequently and she has family members who come to stay from time to time. So she's kept the asset and she wants to put it on the market for an additional income so that she can pay that mortgage. She has absolutely followed the guidelines of the city by saying, here's the property for advertisement, it's 90 days or more. She cannot help the fact that the Airbnb platform allows guests to peruse properties and to select the dates that they would like to stay. That's just how the platform works.
So you're saying that this property is listed on the Airbnb website and Airbnbs are allowing folks to stay 90 days. She's looking for people who are going to stay on this property for 90 days or more?
She's looking for people who are going to rent for 3 months at a time. Yes.
That's typically what the Airbnb platform is for. Airbnb platform is typically catered to folks that are, looking for a, a 3-day stay, a week, vacation. They're not necessarily looking for long-term rentals.
Respectfully, Your Honor, people use Airbnb for 90-day stays or more all the time. Like, let's say you have a sick relative and you need to fly out to Minnesota and spend time there while someone is in the hospital or someone is recovering from an illness. Airbnb can be utilized to identify properties for any length of stay, whether it's 6 months, 3 months, or 5 days. I've certainly, all of this is anecdotal.
Your argument was that it does not allow this platform does not allow either the owners or the renters to state anything more than a specific amount of time. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure I understood you, Your Honor. Do you mind repeating that? Absolutely.
Officer Perez indicated that in your listing, you're putting here that your client advertising for 5-day stay, right? 5 nights, 5 days.
No, she's not advertising a 5-day stay. When you go onto Airbnb and you search for listings in North Miami and you find this property, you will see as you go through the property listing that there is a 90-day minimum. Now, a customer or someone who's looking for housing on Airbnb can see that 90-day minimum and take a chance. They can say to myself, let me request to book this property for these 5 dates. And then a message comes through the Airbnb platform to the owner. And it says, hey, so-and-so has requested to book your property for 5 days. You can accept or reject that booking. And my client has rejected those bookings. The listing, and again, the case that is before us is about the advertisement of the property. And the advertisement says 90-day minimum. The 5-day request comes to my client via an Airbnb message, and she can accept or reject that request. But the property is advertised as a 90-day minimum.
See the ad again?
Your
So I
Honor, I'm
didn't
looking
read
at
the
the ad
90-day.
right. Yeah,
Mm.
Your
Your
Honor, I'm
Honor,
looking at the ad right
if
now.
I may share my screen, I have a screenshot from the client from just last week where she shows the 90-day stay minimum. You're not going to see it here. I don't think they've screenshotted that part for you.
I could go live on the website right now where it does not depict anything about the 90-day rental. It's about this space. It gives you an establishment on the background of the property. It describes the space, but it doesn't advise about the 90-day restriction. And that goes for the Airbnb and the VRBO rental itself, both of them.
Respectfully, Mr. Perez, I do have screenshots that directly contradict that statement. And again, I didn't get the evidence in by the July 24th deadline. But if we want to continue this case, I'd be happy to present the evidence, or if the magistrate is willing to allow me to share my screen, I can show the screenshot where it says a 90-day minimum from last week.
I'll look at your screenshot, but let me go live and let me see what's posted.
Not a problem. I'll Edme, if you could allow me to share the screen so I could show the live of the actual property itself.
Can I show my screenshot first or no?
Let him finish with his presentation, and then I will give you an opportunity to respond.
Thank you.
So if you guys could see on here about the space, it pretty much constitutes the background of the space. Allow a moment for you guys to read that.
I'm good.
Okay. We'll peruse through the advertisement.
Is the city present?
I'm sorry?
Is the city attorney present?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
This is the other advertisement, same description, basically. It does not speak to a 90-day minimum stay. And we could have the Madam City Attorney chime in if you'd like as well.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. 1 second, Ms. Streitfeld, you can go ahead and show your screenshot. You can share your evidence.
Post disabled participant screen sharing, Your Honor. Here we go.
You have access now.
Thank you so much. I'm showing the PDF. If you see at the very, very top of the PDF, edit listing, waterfront Key West style 2-bedroom townhouse. This is the back end of Airbnb. This is the user interface for hosts. You see trip length stay, minimum stay, 90 nights. That's how she enters the minimum stay on the listing. Again, this is the back end of the user interface on Airbnb. My client has respected the city's code. She understands that there's a 90-day minimum stay. I can also show text messages of rejecting guests for fewer than 90 days. And if it happens every so often that there's a glitch in Airbnb and these user settings essentially get reverted back to some default, my client fixes it as soon as she becomes aware. So there's no intent to disobey the city's code. There's no intent to turn this into some sort of a party house or a townhouse. I don't believe the city has any complaints of noise violations or parties, or it's not a drain on the city's resources. You're not getting calls for service at this property. This is a longtime resident of the city of North Miami who has kept this asset and is trying to use it in the most legal way possible to make a little bit of money. I don't think that there's enough evidence presented here to find her guilty of a repeat violation.
Your Honor, if I may chime in as well, these are edible settings that can be edited at any point in time. So I could take a screenshot of me putting a 90-day minimum stay and then reverting back to my original not 90-day stay and submit the screenshot. As you saw, the webpage clearly depicts that there is no minimum 90-day stay on the actual advertisement itself. And Madam City Attorney, if you'd like to chime in, you're more than welcome to as well.
Good morning, Conrad Bob, for Assistant City Attorney. I'm going to have to agree with Mr. Perez. The code strictly says any advertisement that promotes the occupancy or use of the residential property for the purpose of holding commercial parties, events, assemblies, gatherings, or the rental of single-family residential property for a period of less than 3 months. Being that they have been told about advertisements being less than 90 days. They've been told, they've been cited. I would have suggested that they at least put the 90 days in the description of the property, minimum 90 days, so that in the advertisement, it's showing that it's a 90-day minimum stay.
Your Honor, may I, Lazaro Riemann?
Thank you, counsel. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Riemann.
Yes, I'm familiar with the ordinance, and I do agree also with the attorney. In prior experiences that I've had, even with the attorney, it usually helps for them to write it specifically on that description part. She is correct, and I can confirm in my own dealings with Airbnb that you can alter it in the background like that, and also supporting Mr. Perez's testimony stating that it could be edited. The reason behind the adjudication is that cat and mouse, where what we necessarily don't want to get to, but I can confirm that the attorney's statement via my own experiences is correct. A way to curve this.
Mr. Riemann,
Yeah.
1 second. I don't know which attorney you're referring to.
Mrs. Stratfeld, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, so repeat it for me, because I wasn't sure if you were saying you were agreeing with Ms. Bob or Ms. Stratfeld.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. Well, I agree with Mrs. Bob's assessment of how to curve that and putting it in the actual description. The reason being is it kind of deters someone right from the beginning as soon as they're reading it. Hey, 90 days. Does Airbnb allow more than 90 days? Yes, it does allow more than 90 days. Does it let you edit it in the background and put it back and forth? Yes, that is also a statement that I've also experienced myself. So maybe an adjudication, I'll let the recommendation of the inspector that's involved in it, take precedence in this case. But I'm not exactly sure if maybe we can get another adjudication and maybe with even a fine. But I think maybe just altering the description and putting it 90 days should be enough to deter someone from trying to rent it from 90.
I concur. At this time, the city concludes their presentation. We leave Your Honor with the decision making at this time.
Your Honor, I'm sure my client would be happy to agree to put the 90-day minimum at the top of the listing in the description. We just don't want to incur any fines for this because, again, I don't think that the evidentiary burden has been met, and there's a lot of gray area here. So let's just agree to corrective action, and we'd be happy to, change the listing, change the description, send you screenshots, send you a link, whatever evidence the city needs to confirm that we've complied.
I thank everyone for their testimony today. My only concern is that this issue have been ongoing since 2018. So this is not the first time issue. This is has repeated over time. And so you may not have been involved in the case until recently, but your client is very well aware of what the city ordinance requires. And I am sure he or she was informed, she was informed back in 2018. And so this is an easy fix that she could have handled way before this, what is it, this last violation, what is it? September 19, 2022. So it's been ongoing. And for that reason, I do find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city, I enter an adjudication. And that's an adjudication on both cases. Because this is I can do an ongoing fine, I can do an abatement date, but typically with Airbnbs, I give a one-time fine. Isn't that correct, Officer Perez?
Yes, that'd be the case. In this case, we would be looking at one-time fines per case, given that the corrective actions are taken as soon as the property owner gets a chance.
Correct.
May I don't want to, belabor this, but I haven't had a chance to respond to your comments about the ongoing nature of this issue. As is obvious from the back and forth that took place here in this hearing, there was a little bit of confusion as to whether or not and what exactly she was guilty of. And so while there may have been notices mailed to the property, we hadn't had this opportunity in this forum to clarify exactly what the corrective action should be, whether or not my client was even guilty in the first place of violating the city's code of ordinances. And so for the ongoing violations, again, this is our first opportunity to be before you. And if I may speak just briefly to the 2018 finding of guilt, my client was taken advantage of by a vacation rental property broker. It's a gentleman by the name of Caesar at the Marcona Group, and they literally stole photos of my client's listing and put it on Airbnb or booking.com for fewer than 90 days. My client didn't get the notice of violation because she had a tenant in the property at the time, and they went ahead and paid it so they just wouldn't, so that it would go away. But she did request reimbursement from this booking group because she got fined. So that was, not my client's intent. It was not her fault. Again, this is the first time that we've had this opportunity to discuss the issue with the city. So we would be very grateful for the opportunity to correct the issue going forward and not have to pay a fine this time.
Okay. The violation is her advertisement. The violation is the advertisement for short-term rentals. In the advertisement, it does not state, even though you indicated that she understood that she's not able to rent the property for less than 90 days. But her advertisement, what people see when they go on her Airbnb post, what they see is that this property is available for rentals. It doesn't say anywhere in the description that you have to stay a minimum of 90 days. You have shown that in the back end where the sellers are able to put their preferences in terms of the number of days. And I agree with what both Attorney Bob and Inspector Perez indicated, that your client could have easily gone and edit the information and screenshot it and send it to you. I'm not saying that you're guilty of doing anything. What I'm saying is that she could have easily done that. Going forward, what we're asking that you inform your client is that in the body of the advertisement is that she's clearly indicates so that for everyone who is interested in renting her property, including these inspectors who will be verifying the information online, that it clearly states that rental is for a minimum of 90 days. Now, if it's clearly stated, then there's no false advertising if somebody wants to stay for 5 days or 10 days or 15 days. They're already on notice that this property is for a minimum of 90 days. So I will give them an opportunity to do that. But at the same time, because I do find that they are in violation, I will issue a fine. It's a one-time fine. Trust me, I find people for a lot less. And their fines is usually a lot higher than what I'm giving your client. Each case is $1,500. It's a one-time fine, but I'm giving them 90 days to correct their ad. If we have to come back, then it's gonna be a lot more. And that's my ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Please call the next case.
Magistrate, we're gonna proceed with item number 3. Item number 3 is 990 LLC. Case number is CEGEF 2022-00033. And the officer is Jonathan Lemestre.
Good morning.
Morning, Special Magistrate. Do we have anybody here from the property?
Yes, we have Mario Toka. Mario Toka, please enable your audio and video.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your
Please
Honor.
state your full name in relationship to the property.
My name is Mario Toca. I'm the managing member of the LLC.
Thank you, sir.
Mario, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
I
help
do.
you God. Please say I do.
I do.
Very good.
Sir.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Neighborhood Service Inspector Jonathan Lemestre, and this case is being heard for the first time. On July 14th, 2022, I opened a notice of violation at 990 Northeast 125th Street for the dumpster not having a dumpster enclosure at the property. I sent a certified letter to the property owner, and as of the final reinspection date, compliance has not been met. There's still no dumpster enclosure at the property. The property owner did apply for an after the fact permit, or applied for a permit for the dumpster enclosure on September 16th, 2022. But they were denied by the building department. According to Mario Toca, who I've been in close contact with, they stated that they need a survey of the property, of the entire property. Mr. Toca, he informed me that a survey for that large property would cost them $50,000. And that's the reason why they're unable to able to comply with the building department's request. And that's why they haven't been able to build the dumpster enclosure.
Okay. All right, Mr. Toka.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
I have I've been in contact with the inspector, as he well stated. When he had, the first letter, him and I, we review the code, and we're in agreement that the enclosure is needed. After that conversation, I went ahead and I hired a contractor. I placed a deposit for them to go ahead and move forward. When the month of September came, like I told the inspector, I underwent right hip replacement at the end of September. Subsequent to that, my contractor presented requested the permits. He was denied. After my recovery, I went back to my contractor and he submitted again another permit sometime in April of 23. Again, he was denied, and the big issue here is the survey. The cost of the survey at this point is higher than the enclosure. And as I explained to the Inspector Lemestre, I told him that this is outside, that we are ready to do it, This is outside. Nothing has changed in that property. Why do we need a survey? And that's the big issue. He says that I had to come to the hearing and explain my case, which I'm doing. Subsequent to the last denial by the city, I again underwent reverse right shoulder replacement surgery, which I'm currently recovering from. And I spoke to the inspector last week, and and here I am. We're not refusing to comply. We know what the code is, and we want to do it. We want to get it done, but I need a permit.
First and foremost, Mr. Toka, I'm sorry to hear about all the different surgeries you've had to undergo, and I wish you a speedy recovery, sir.
Thank you.
Whether or not to issue a permit and what is required and all the different criteria, that's solely in the authority of the building, the building department, I guess. And so my job here is not to determine whether or not a survey is necessary. My job is to determine whether or not there is compliance as it relates to the dumpster enclosure. Since this is a first time up, meaning that this is the first time, you did say it was a first time up, right, Mr. Lemestri? Okay.
Yes, magistrate.
Which means that this is the first time this case has been brought before the magistrate. I'm going to give you some time, to be able to address your concern with the building officials and see what, if anything, can be worked out. But it's not something, it's not as if I can make a ruling that says a survey is not necessary. Do you understand? This is not what I do. This is not my authority to do so. The good folks in the building department, the officials, they're the ones who are, familiar with what's needed. Obviously, there's a reason why they need to see a survey so that they can make sure wherever you're going to erect this enclosure, that is actually on your property and it's not, abutting someone else's property or I don't know, a leasing area. So I can't make that determination. What I can do, I can reset this matter. I can reset it. I can do either 30 days or 60 days. Officer Lemestre, what do you
60
think?
days, 60 days.
60
'Cause
days?
I understand it's a process to
Yes,
obtain a
so it
permit.
is a process. So let's reset it for 60 days. Let's give you an opportunity to go and sit down with the building officials and explain your concern and tell them what the cost is. If it's, if it's something that's going to take you a minute to be able to come up with the amount to be able to get the survey done and submit it to the city, then let's talk about it and see what can be done. And
Your
that's
Honor?
basically the best that I can do for you today.
No, thank you so much. But I also want to point out that we presented a survey and the building department denied it because they said it was outdated.
Correct. It's very interesting. You and I are in the same situation where I never could understand why surveys have a deadline, right?
Yeah.
Surveys have an expiration date. You always say, wait a minute, but my building did not move. What's going on? Why do I need a new survey? For one reason or another, that, surveys do have an expiration date. And so again, they're the ones who make that determination. They know the reasoning behind it. I do not. And so I'm going to give you 60 days, sir, to, meet with the officials, see what can be worked out. And then when we come back in 60 days, we'll see how we need to proceed.
Your
Okay.
Honor, you also know that surveys, these guys are taking about 60 days.
to do this. Well, when we come back in 60 days, then you can tell us exactly where we are in the process. Okay, and if you
Okay.
are in the process of doing it after having met with the building officials, and this is the, you know, the way we're going, then I will give you more time. Okay, Mr. Toka, just remind me, because I may forget, but just remind me, this is what we discussed, and if you need more time, I will make sure to give you more time.
And Mario, just, you know, just to put this on the record, be mindful that this case was open since July 14th of 2022. It's been a year now.
Yes, I understand.
Right? Okay, sir. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too.
Magistrate, I'm gonna go ahead and proceed with item number 13 through 15.
Okay.
We have Hermans Jesus Aparico Medina. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Item number 13, case number is CEBPR 2022-00741. Item number 14, case number is CEBPR.
Mr. Taco, you can, his case is done, right?
Yes.
Mr. Toka, you can leave, sir. I don't think he can hear us. Okay.
Yeah, I just removed him. Item number 14, case number CEBPR 2022-00742. And item number 15, case number CEBPR 2022-00743. And the officer is Christopher Colson. I'm promoting Mr. Hermes.
Good morning.
Good morning. En
Please
español,
state your full name in relationship to the property.
Spanish interpreter.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
español.
Good morning, sir. Please state your full name in relationship to the property.
Buenos días, señor. Por favor, pudiera decir su nombre completo y cómo usted se relaciona con la propiedad.
Sí, Hermes Jesús Aparicio Medina. Soy el propietario.
Yes, so it is Hermes Jesus Aparicio Medina, and I'm the owner.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna go ahead and swear him in. Sir, please raise your right hand.
Okay, vamos a jurarlo, así que por favor, señor, levante su mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please say I do.
Jura solemnemente que usted estará diciendo la verdad y nada más que la verdad en el testimonio de este procedimiento.
Sí.
I do.
Thank you. Officer Colson?
Good morning. I'm Officer Colson, City of North Miami Neighborhood Service Department. This is a new case, CEBPR, building without permits. The case was previously open. Our now retired Officer Aaron Barber, I have now taken over the case. And it was open on 11/3/2022. And there's no, as far as for no work with no permits on exterior doors and some windows. Several inspection. I just actually made first contact with them the other day, but it was just on my final inspection. As you can see, the pictures are going through. And as a final inspection, no permit has been pulled and violation still remains on the home.
I'm sorry, you said no permit has been pulled.
Yeah, as of final reinspection the other day, no permit has been pulled and violation still remains. As you can see, the windows and everything are still in there.
Okay. All right. In the driveway,
Yeah, that's on another case too.
Okay.
I have two of them for them, a fence or a driveway. I have two of them.
All right, let's present the other two cases as well.
Okay. Okay, the CEBPR 2022-00743. This is for the black iron fence that's in the front.
Mr. Colson, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Mr. Interpreter, did you have an opportunity to translate?
Well, that was a lot that I will try to just make him aware about what is it that you're talking about.
Okay,
So
can
he
you
is in the same
please?
page. Yeah.
Okay, it was done?
No, I cannot translate like it is a consecutive translate. It is not simultaneously. So I will do it right now. Entonces,
Okay.
ok, entonces, señor, muy bien. Lo que pasa ahorita lo que ahorita están haciendo es que están revisando los múltiples casos por los que usted ha sido citado. Ahorita ya esto es por trabajo que se ha realizado, que no se ha obtenido el permiso y que aún el permiso en la última inspección que se hizo no está, por lo que como no se tiene el permiso, la violación sigue en pie. Además de ahorita también ya están entrando al segundo caso, que esto es respecto a la cerca de hierro. Y es lo que ahorita están comentando.
Okay.
All right, you may go ahead.
All right, you can do the next case, Officer Colston.
Okay, so the next case is CEBPR 2022-00743. Again, previously opened by Officer Aaron Barber, now retired. I'm taking over the case. And this is for the black iron fence and then also for the white fence that's behind it a little bit, but you probably can't see it, but it's for the black iron fence really. And that was again installed without permits. And as of final reinspection, there's still no permit on file for the black iron fence.
Entonces, de igual manera, entonces lo que se está viendo, lo que se está apreciando en la fotografía anteriores, se está apreciando lo que es la reja negra. Sí, perdón.
Sí.
Ok, entonces se está apreciando la reja negra, donde esta ha sido instalada sin los permisos pertinentes.
Okay.
Judge, that's going to be the only two because I don't see the one for the driveway. Unless you see it, Pay, but I don't see the one for the driveway.
I think we called 3 cases.
We
What
call
was
3.
the third one for?
What's the other one, Peggy?
Okay, we started with number 13, which is item CEBPR 2022-00741. This one is for the pavers.
Okay, I don't have it.
Okay.
I can roll it off the top. Roll it. Go ahead and do it, Peggy. I can do it off the top. I don't have it. 741. I got it. I'm sorry, I found you on. Okay. So CEBPR 2022-00741, and that's for the pavers that were installed. As you can see, the pavers are still installed from the pictures. And again, as with the previous cases, they've been properly mailed and notified. And as a final reinspection, the violation still remains, no permit on file for that one as well.
Sí, ahora el tercer caso del que se está hablando es respecto a los adoquines que fueron colocados en la acera. Estos también fueron colocados sin los permisos necesarios.
All right. Mr. Aparicio is that correct? How I pronounce the
Yes,
name?
Aparicio.
Okay, Mr. Aparicio, do you understand the violation, sir?
Señor Aparicio, ¿usted entiende las violaciones que hemos mencionado?
Sí, eso es correcto. Estoy pidiendo una extensión de 90 días para resolver el problema.
Yes, that's correct. And I would like to have 90 days to resolve the issue.
Okay, are you in the process now or trying to get the after the fact permit?
¿Usted ya está en proceso o lo que usted estaría obteniendo es un permiso después de los hechos?
Sí, presentamos en la oficina, vamos a presentar los permisos, pero necesitamos 90 días para terminar y concluir todo.
Yeah, like we're going to start with the process, but we need at least 90 days to complete everything.
All right, just so we're clear, you need to get after the fact permits for the Yeah, it seemed,
Try.
you did a beautiful job with the property, let me just say this. But you were supposed to have pulled permits, and it seems like you did not pull permits to replace the windows, the doors, the pavers, the iron fence. So you're gonna have to get after the fact permit for all of this work.
Entonces, lo que permítame comentarle que hicieron un muy buen trabajo, es una vista muy bonita. Lo que sí estaría necesitando, señor, es obtener un permiso, que es un permiso que se le llama después de los hechos. Este permiso se tiene que sacar para lo que fue el trabajo que se hizo de reemplazar las ventanas, las puertas, la instalación de los adoquines y el reemplazo de la cerca de hierro.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so based on the evidence presented in the testimony, I find that the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city, I enter an adjudication. So I'm giving you your 90 days to try to get the after the fact permit. But if it's not done by the abatement date, which is 11/16/23, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Ok, muy bien, entonces voy a estar basado en las evidencias presentadas el día de hoy, te estaré sometiendo a mi adjudicación, que es que la violación sigue existiendo y esto es adjudicaciones en favor a la ciudad, por lo que le estaré dando a usted 90 días para que en esos 90 días usted pueda obtener el permiso después de los hechos. Si llegada la fecha de después de esos 90 días, que sería la fecha 11/16 del 2023, noviembre 16 de 2023, entonces se estaría dando una multa de $500 diaria si aún no se ha obtenido el permiso para ese entonces.
And just so that the record is very clear for Madam Clerk, and that's for each case. Okay, that's an adjudication for each case, and the fine is per case.
Noted.
All right.
Y esto solamente para aclarar, estos $500 que se estarían dando de multa de diarios, esto sería por cada uno de los casos.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hermes. Have a good day.
Muy bien, pues buena suerte, señor Hermes, que tenga buen día.
A usted, gracias.
Thanks to you.
All right,
Madam
Madam Clerk, call your next case, please.
We're gonna proceed with item number 23. Give me one second. We're gonna proceed with item number 23. We have Silver Star Car Wash, Inc. Case number CEGEF 2022-00037, and the officer is Shanna Sanders. And we also have David Silverman here on behalf of this case.
Mr. Silverman, please activate your audio and your video, sir. Good morning. Please state your
Good
full
morning.
name and relationship to the property.
David Silverman, and I'm the owner.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give at these proceedings shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. Please say I do.
I do.
Shanna Sanders, Neighborhood Service Inspector, presenting case for property address 12300 West Dixie Highway for a dumpster enclosure, a dumpster that needs to be properly enclosed. I originally cited this property on August 30th of 2022, whereas doing my normal inspections, I noticed a dumpster in the rear of the property that needed to be enclosed. It was open, to the public view if you was to drive by. Our city ordinance, clearly states dumpsters must be enclosed and encased, whereas it's not in clear view of the street and our passerbyers. I spoke with a gentleman who identified himself as the business owner, whereas he stated that he would obtain a permit, he would install the dumpster and close this property. As of my last reinspection, I am showing the dumpster has been enclosed. As you're showing in the picture here, this is what it looked like when I first observed the property. However, when I inspected on July 20th of 2023, I am showing a structure that looks to be enclosed. However, the permits were not obtained to do so. I spoke with the business owner, I believe it was yesterday, if not, it has to be yesterday because I was off on Friday. So yesterday regarding the property, whereas he thought he was in compliance. But again, I explained to him that this needs to be properly enclosed with the required permits.
Mr. Silverman,
Yes,
do you understand what needs to happen? Do you understand the violation, sir?
yes.
All right.
May I
Based
have
on-
a chance to speak?
Yes,
I just want to say that I am the owner of the property in question, and despite being physically present in Montreal, Canada, I'm zooming in for you to deal with this matter. That the car wash and the auto repair have been an integral part of this community for decades. It's a beacon of reliable automotive services. Played a pivotal role in the local economy over the years. Harry's Auto and our car wash have established itself as a trusted establishment. We have that garbage bin has been situated outside the premises for the past 25 years. And I understand it's a point of contention with and a cause for concern among some community members. However, I'd like to provide some context maybe and clarity regarding its placement and relocation. Firstly, the garbage bin was placed in an area adjacent to the property's fence. This arrangement was in line with guidance provided by law enforcement officers in the past, and previous orders stating that as long as the garbage bin was out of sight, it was considered acceptable without the need for an enclosure. If you look through older pictures of our property, just on Google or another platform, you'll see evidence of the current fenced enclosure. At one point, this was a gas station, and when they removed the gas tanks out of the ground prior to me owning the place, they put in a system for cleaning up the underground, and a fence was put in there, and an enclosure was put in there to kind of hide their pumping equipment. Let me see here. So the fence was permitted and was installed by the state of Florida and was there, and all the posts have still been there. Some of the slats have rotted out, and what we've done is we've just changed those for plastic ones. So as I said, if you search through older pictures on Google or any, you'll see there's a fence that's been there. It's in all the pictures of the place. You can even see that the garbage bin is outside of that fence in some of the older pictures. A Google search will show that. This arrangement was deemed compliant and acceptable at the time, and I have those pictures if you'd like me to provide them. However, circumstances have changed. The state of Florida, in their effort to ensure their safety, removed their ground purification equipment from the vicinity, and this presents an opportunity for us to address the concerns raised by some members of the community. In response to these concerns, we've taken proactive measures to improve the aesthetics and eliminate any potential eyesore. So we've relocated the garbage bin to that enclosure that was originally installed by the state of Florida at least 10 years ago. As well, the white, we've cleaned it up by putting new white plastic pickets on that fence. So in the initial pictures, you can't really see it from her pictures, but you can see now that we've, put up new pickets on that fence. I think that's it. I thought this was sort of a done issue in that, we just moved the garbage bin out of sight. And prior to us actually doing that, we planted trees, shrubs, and all that stuff right around where the garbage bin was. So anyone that's driving around the property, they would never be able to see it because we put up those privacy bushes, and we thought that was fine. And as I said, over the years, we've had the same mechanic there for many, many years. He's been there for 20 something years. And he said the same thing, that the cities come by every once in a while and just said, hey, listen, make sure that your bin is not pushed too far out towards the road, that it's recessed all the way in the back, especially behind the bushes. So now it's no longer behind the bushes. It's in an enclosed fence. The fence has been there for 10 plus years, maybe even 15 years, and it's completely out of the way. And I, as far as I'm concerned, this is a done deal.
Magistrate, as I've discussed with Mr. Silverman, I fully understand, I hear him when he's saying he feels it's a done deal. But as I explained to him yesterday, he did put up, some what he may consider, I'm not sure what type of material that is, but some type of fencing. However, it was done without a permit. He did, explain to me that it was there many years ago, but I further, had conversed with him about when I initially did the inspection, it was not there. If you put up a fence that, if a fence was installed at a property 20 years ago and it was removed 5 years ago, and now you're putting something up new, yesterday, a permit has to be obtained. We need to make sure that this structure is sound, that it's done, properly, but it's not a done deal. It needs to be done with the proper permits.
I understand, but we didn't officially remove the fence ever. We've changed the lats on there, and the lats that we bought were from Home Depot. Those are the ones that they use. It's approved by the state of Florida for fencing. So we didn't just put up some random building material. That's fence material from Home Depot. And as I said, we removed the existing footings on the ground and that kind of stuff. So and it's in the exact same place that it was before.
Magistrate, as you're looking at the photos here, this is what it looked like when I initially observed the property on August 30th of 2022. As you're showing here in the photos, no fencing, nothing was around that structure next to where the existing dumpster is. Now there is some type of, looks to be maybe a galvanized or something fencing, I'm not sure, but that needs to be properly permitted. The building department needs to go out there and look to see if this, it needs to be looked at, needs to be inspected. I'm not debating, if it is approved by the county or not, or if it's, approved by Dade County. I'm stating that it needs to be properly permitted is the case.
Understood. I'm ready to rule. Based on the evidence presented, I find the violation does exist. I find in favor of the city internal adjudication. Mr. Silverman, I'm giving you 30 days to apply for an after the fact permit. I'll give
Your
you
Honor, would it
60
be
days.
possible to extend it in that I'm in Canada until end of September?
Yes, I just realized that it's the first, we're already in, let's see. I'll give you 60 days. So by 10/19, sir.
Could you
it's
give me
not-
90 days, Your Honor? Because I'm really not going to be back there and I have to do this in person.
If we can, magistrate, I would like to ask if we can leave it at the October hearing. What I'm asking, Mr. Silverman, is as soon as you get back in town, at least visit the city. Let's go ahead and get that application in, only because this case has been open a month short of a year. So let's keep a short abatement if we can. Once you get back, I think you said at the end of September, that'll give you hopefully 2 weeks to visit the city, get the application submitted, and we'll, grant more time if needed after that.
Right, but my travel plans have not been 100% confirmed. So that's why I'm asking for 90 days. I'll do it within the 90 days, but I may not come back until end of September.
Okay. As the inspector says, if you need more time, you can contact her. But right now I'm leaving it at 10/19. If it's not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
Okay, so what do you want me to do by 10/19? Just have an application made with the city?
Yes, if I see progress, then we can grant you more days. All right?
Okay, so will there be follow-up from the court?
I'm sorry?
Is the onus on me to follow up, or will someone be contacting me from your court?
You
No,
get a
I
note.
think that you need to get in contact with the inspector, not me.
Okay, so prior to October 19th, I have to get in touch with her.
We'll be in contact. After the
Okay.
hearing, we'll give you notice. It'll tell you the compliance date and things of that nature. I'll be doing inspections during that time. So you have my number. Just, call
Yes.
me if you visit the city and submit the applications. Call Ms. Sanders. I've submitted them. We can converse, outside of this hearing, but either I'll contact
Okay.
you or you contact me.
Very good.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Magistrate, we have 2 attendees in the queue, and I'm gonna go ahead and call Clarabelle Lopez.
What item number is that?
She doesn't have an item number.
Okay.
We can't hear you,
We can
Clarabelle.
hear you. Ms. Lopez, I don't know why we cannot hear you. When you signed in, did you sign in with audio? She froze.
Yeah, because her case was postponed to October 5th. I sent her a message via chat, but I'm not sure why she's still remaining on the call.
All right, who's the next person?
And the next person is someone that has a 786-381 number. I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself.
Caller? I think if you push, is it *66? What is the,
No, it's a 786 number.
oh, I'm saying for her to hear, did she say something? We still can't hear you, Miss Lopez. The individual that's on the line for telephone number 786-838-1000. We cannot hear you. If you can please unmute yourself.
Because I'm asking them to unmute.
It looked like
Can you
Clarabelle
hear
is
me
saying
now?
that's her.
Yes.
Me now?
Yes.
Oh, hello, can you hear me? Okay, my apologies, as it's my first time doing a Zoom call.
Okay, it's Miss Lopez. All right, Miss Lopez,
Yes.
you were informed that your case was postponed. Your case has been reset
Till October 5th
October
hearing.
5th.
Oh, I did not know that. They did not inform me. But what I did want is, Your Honor, to specify is that I am working since day one with the city to have my driveway have its permit. There was a mistake on my name, and that's why it took so long. And with Officer Christopher Colon, he recently sent me a violation. My permit runner resend them the survey, and they have not taken a look at it yet.
Miss Lopez, your case is not before me, therefore I cannot make any rulings on it. Your case has been reset.
Okay.
So use the time that you have wisely so that you can get what you need done. So the
Okay.
case is not being heard today. You have until October. So do what you need to do, okay? And there may be a
Thank you
moot
so much.
issue by the time October roll around. So good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right, so we don't have any other individuals present, correct?
Nope, everybody's
All right.
done.
Good. Let's take a 10-minute recess. It is 11:05. Let's be back at 11:15.
Sure.
Thank you, Magistrate.
All right. All right, we are back on the record. Madam Clerk, if you please call your next case.
Magistrate, I'm gonna go ahead and proceed with item number 1, which is 1590 Coral Terrace Court. Case number is CEMHE 2022-00053. And the officer is Shanna Sanders.
Thank you.
Shanna Sanders, Neighborhood Service Inspector. This is a new case for property address 1590 Northeast 127th Street for failure to submit their extermination report to the city after doing an annual housing inspection. This violation was originally cited September 7th of 2022, whereas I was doing an annual housing inspection on this building, whereas I observed no extermination report posted in or submitted to the city. I opened up a violation at that time, mailed it to the property owner, listing agents, anyone and attorneys associated with this property. I received a call back. I met with the condo president. We walked through the property. I fully explained what was needed. She stated that she would have it done by the reinspection date. I am showing I went back out there a week later on the 14th. And again, on October 27th, a month and a half after opening up the violation. At that time, the extermination report still had not been submitted to the city, so I proceeded to fail it for a magistrate hearing. Upon my last reinspection last week on July 14th, no, July 20th, I am still not in receipt of the extermination report. So I would like to move forward with the case being adjudicated. I am showing proper service was given. I myself posted the property with the notice to appear on July 11, 2023. Certified mailer was also mailed out to the property owner and listing agents. And we have not received the response, but again, proper service was given.
Thank you. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice. Owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
Item number 4 is Antoine Keljovic. Case number is CESTA 2022000074, and we have Jose Perez for this case today.
Sorry, which item number? My apologies.
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay. Today we're hearing the case that relates to the property of 12880 North Bayshore Drive. This is as it relates to short-term rental advertisements. Unfortunately, this violation was opened back in August of 2022. So it's quite about a year old now, almost a year old. At this point in time, the advertisements remain active. This is a screenshot of July 26th, 2023 at 5:04 p.m. showing and depicting the advertisement at the property. The property owner was sent via certified mail for this hearing on June 13, 2023, as well as it was posted at the property. On July 12th, 2023, the original notice of violation was mailed out via certified mail on August 8th, 2022. And at this point in time, the property owner has not taken any any corrective actions. The city is requesting an adjudication as well as a fine set amount until compliance has been met.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Property owner has until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $1,000.
Thank you.
Item number 5, Causeway Village LLC, and Jose Perez will be presenting the case.
We're hearing the case as it relates to property 1850 Northeast 123rd Street. This is as it relates to repairs on the damaged brick wall at the property. There's a large hole on the southwest section of the property that needs to be repaired. So permits need to be pulled and the repairs need to be made. The property owner was cited back in July 14th, 2022, so over a year now. The property owner was sent via certified mail the original notice of violation on that date, and the notice to appear was posted on July 12th, 2023. I'm sorry, June 12th, 2023, and was sent via certified mail on June 13th, 2023. At this point in time, the property owner has not taken any corrective actions. The city is requesting an adjudication as well as a fine set amount until compliance has been met.
You said since 2022?
Yes, the original violation date is July 14, 2022.
Okay. All right. And seeing that hole, that large gaping hole, would that consider a hazard?
I'm not sure if it would compromise the structure integrity. I really wish the building official was here so he could shed some light on that.
Today, see.
Usually he's here. I'm not sure why
He's
he's not
out on
here.
vacation.
There you go.
All
Yes.
right.
So
He
I
is
want to be
typically
very,
here. It would be good to know if he believes the structure is sound. Is it like is it a whole, a street or road that I'm looking at, or is it inside the, what am I looking at here?
so
Where's
this
the
is the
structure?
back wall to a vacant property that's being redeveloped, and very much may so be that they knock down the wall as they do the development. That hasn't started quite just yet. However, at the time it is still a violation. Nonetheless, I can't speak to the fact if it is structurally sound or not, and I'd be wary on giving the expertise, as that's not my subject area expertise. So at this time, I think
I
just
guess
a
my
regular.
question, I think you kind of answered my question. I just wanted to know if this is like a busy area, if, you know, if this somewhere that people just, you know, walk, or is this just an isolated?
It's an isolated property. Yeah, it wouldn't be a potential hazard in my eyes. Granted, we still need to address it, but I don't think it'll be a detriment in that aspect. No.
Okay. All right. Okay, we can exit out. I need to find my page. Can you stop sharing? Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Thank you.
Item number 8, Denise Jean Pierre, case number CEBPR 2022-00744, Christopher Colson.
Okay. 774. Basis today. Oh, let's see it. All right, Yana. This is I'm throwing this one. Okay, this is the case of the driveways. CEBPR 2022-00774. This was a new case opened, and it was opened by Aaron Barber back in November 11/7/22. They have been properly notified and noted there's still no permits on file for the case as of final inspection. So they still are within violation.
All right, let me,
Paved driveway, it covers the whole front and the swell area.
okay.
There's been no contact with the property owners or anything. They haven't reached out.
All right. Did you say it was previously adjudicated? Let me see.
No, this is first time case, first time being
Time out.
heard.
Okay. All right. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Item number 9, Dennis A. Gutierrez Castellano, case number CEBPR 2022-00740, Jonathan Lemestre is the officer.
Morning, everybody. Jonathan Lemestre, Neighborhood Service Inspector. And this case is a first time. This is at 1180 Northwest 126th Street. for installing concrete slabs in the rear of the property without any permit on file. On November 4th, 2022, I opened the notice of violation in regards to concrete slabs being installed. As of the final reinspection date, the property owners failed to obtain an after-the-fact permit. Back on December 7th, 2022, though, the property owner did apply for an after-the-fact permit, but was denied by the building department for not giving the proper documents.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $500.
Thank you.
Item number 10, Dennis E. Barnes Jr. Trust, Barnes Living Trust, and Jennifer L. Barr, case number CESTA 2022-00076. Jose Perez will be presenting this case.
Good morning. Today we're hearing the case and relates to the property at 13200 Ortega Lane. This case relates to short-term rental advertisements. The violation in question was opened on August 16, 2022. It was delayed in mailing until July 13, 2022, due to postage issues that the city was having. I do want to put that on the record. The advertisements remain active as of July 26th, 2023 at 5:05 p.m. You can see here that the advertisement remains active. The notice was sent to the property via certified mail on June 13, 2023, and it was posted at the property on June 12th, 2023. As it relates to the notice to appear, at this point in time, the city is requesting an adjudication as well as a fine set amount for the violation.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $1,000.
Thank you.
Item number 11, E&A Realty Ventures, Inc., case number CEMHA 2022-00004. Officer Colson.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Officer Colson, City of North Miami Neighborhood Service Department, CEMHA 2022-0004 is a new case. There has been, as of today, there has been no compliance. The structure still remains, and as a final inspection that was given on 7/25/23, the structure still remains. I have talked to people at the property, but nothing has been accomplished at this time. They still haven't removed the structure as of this time, and they have been properly noted and cited and talked to. So
Tell me about notice, I'm sorry.
they have been properly notified, and I've talked to people at the property, and they just haven't taken the structure down. So I don't know why they haven't removed the structure, but they haven't removed the structure.
Okay, what exactly is that structure?
He told me he likes to, he does stuff in his backyard, and he's like to have it up for his kids to play in to keep out the sun. But I told him it's just a bunch of tarps all tied together.
Oh.
It's like it's like if he would have had a canopy driveway in the front, it's something like that in the back. And it's like a bunch of tarps he tied together with poles and over stuff.
All right, now, based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry, the interpreters, the Spanish and Creole interpreters, you guys are now dismissed. My apologies.
Oh, that's correct. Thank you, guys.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna call item number 17 through 18. Prenos Valmy Nadej Valmy, case number CESTA 2022-000066. And item number 18, case number CESTA 2022-0067. Jose Perez will be presenting this case.
Today we're hearing the cases related to the property at 13270 Northeast Third Court. These are two separate violations for short-term rental advertisements for two separate advertisements for that property. The property was originally cited back in August 15, 2022. The original notice was sent via certified mail as well as posted at the property. And for the hearing, they were posted on June 12th as well as via certified mail on June 13, 2023, as it relates to notice. At this point in time, as you can see by these photographs, on July 26, 2023, the advertisement remains up and active at the property. So at this point in time, the city is seeking an adjudication as well as a monetary fine set amount for both cases. We'll review the pictures of the second case as well, but they were both sent and posted at the same exact time, and they're for the same exact violation, just two separate advertisement. One is advertisement for a 2-bedroom unit efficiency, and the other one's advertisement for a lovely 1-bedroom efficiency, essentially at the property, which was illegally converted, but that's a whole other violation in itself that was already adjudicated. Nonetheless, if we could defer to the images of the listing for the second one, Peggy, did you show those?
I'm going to right now.
And at that time, once Madam Magistrate reviews those images depicting of the second advertisement, we'd like to go ahead and request an adjudication as well as fine set amount for both cases for the advertisements at the property.
This is the second case, Magistrate.
All right. Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the court officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violations does exist. I find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, enter an adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount. Give me 1 second. Okay, the two citations are identical. You said that it was posted twice?
Yes, so they have two separate listings for basically, they split the house up into several pieces. So they have a 1-bedroom efficiency on one side of the house and then a 2-bedroom efficiency on the other side. So they have two listings.
Okay, okay. Now I understand. Okay, I see it. All right. There will be a daily fine amount of $1,000. In this each case.
Thank you.
Item number 19 and 20, we have Riviera Terrace Condominium. Case number for item number 19 is CEFOB 2023-00438. And then for item number 20, case number is CEZCU 2023000755. Christopher Colson will be presenting this case.
We have two new cases, both for the same property. John, you want me to present them both at the same time before you make a judgment?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. The first case is CEFOB 2023-00438. Failure to obtain a business tax receipt prior to operating the business. The violation was originally open on 7/13/2023. As of final reinspection, violation still remains. It has been properly mailed and noted out to the property owners. We're going to move to the second case, which is CEZCU 2023-00755, which is a new case for the same property. Failure to obtain a certificate of use. That case was also open on 7/13/2023. And as of final reinspection, violation still remains. No contact from anybody at the property either, Your Honor.
Okay. You said it was just open in 2023? You said 2023, right?
I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong. That's the mailing.
Okay.
It was opened in January 24th, 2023. And the violation still remains at this time. Both cases, Your Honor.
All right. January 2023, got it. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Owners have until September 21st by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250 per case.
And our magistrate, we have the last couple of cases. You want me to call all of them into record or call them one by one?
Call them one by one.
Okay. I'm gonna proceed with item number 24. Christopher Colson will be the one presenting the remainder of the remaining of the cases, which is the Oaks in North Miami Condo Association, Inc. Case number for item number 24 is CEMHS 2022-00563.
Who's the officer? Okay, Officer
Colson.
Cole.
I'm back.
I want to do it one by one because there's about 4 or 5.
Yes,
right?
they're all for the same
Yeah,
property. You're
I
opening
don't want to
this.
get confused, so let's do it. If it was just a couple, it would have been different.
First one you called was 63 St. Louis. Okay. The dumpster closure. Yeah. Would be the one I'm missing. All right, here we go. This is gonna be a new case, the CEMHS 2022-00563 for the dumpster enclosure. This came from one of our AHI inspections. So the case was originally opened 9/21/22. Violation was found of a dumpster enclosure. And the door is still damaged now. As you can see from the pictures, they have been properly noted and mailed, and mailing has been certified to them and posted at the property as well. Have not had any contact with anybody from the property, whether it be a association or any property managers at this time. So as a final reinspection of the dumpster, the violation still remains.
So I'm clear and I understand it. I see there is an enclosure. It's just that the door,
Yes,
there's
the
no.
door.
Okay, all right. So based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice, owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city enter an adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $200.
Item number 25, case number CEMHS 2022-000564.
On the Oaks Apartments again, Your Honor, CMHS 2022-00564 is a new case. I'm Officer Colson, Neighborhood Service Department, and this is for the marquee out front. Address is missing numbers and letters on the entry wall as you drive in. They still haven't been replaced. They're still in disrepair. So as a final reinspection, the violations still remain.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice. Owners that failed to appear hereby find in favor of the city entering adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $150.
Item number 26, case number CEMHS 2022-00565.
The Oaks Apartment again. This is CMHS 2022-00565. It's a new case. It's for the gate, the exit gate, which is just broke. I don't know why they won't fix it. It's always in that position, but again, nobody has reached out. I've reached out, left proper notice, and as a final reinspection, the violation still remains.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice. Owners that failed to I hereby find in favor of the city entering adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
Item number 27, case number CEMHS 2022-00566.
Magistrate, this is for the Oaks again, Oaks Apartment again, CMHS 2022-00566, new case. It's for the extermination report. As of final reinspection, I still haven't received an extermination report. They have been properly mailed and notified as well.
All right. Just to be fair,
Yes.
I had an extermination report before, and I think that the fee on that was $250. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
For the previous case that had the extermination report, give me 1 second. Yes, it was $250.
Got it. Okay. Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. Also find good notice, given proper notice. Owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city entering adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $250.
Item number 28, case number CMHS 2022-00569.
The Oaks Apartment, the CMHS 2022-00569 is a new case. I'm Officer Colson's Neighborhood Service Department. This is for broken concrete. The curb and the entryway of the apartment complex, the concrete is broken and needs to be repaired and replaced. It's off to the side, so I don't think it presents a trip hazard or anything, but it does need to be, because it's where it's located, but it all needs to be repaired and replaced. And that violation was open on 9/21/22, and as a final inspection on 7/6/2023, the violation still remains.
Based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer, I find that the violation does exist. I also find good notice, given proper notice. Owners have failed to appear. I hereby find in favor of the city entering adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $300.
Item number 29, CEMHS 2022-00571.
The Oaks Apartment. Again, the CEMHS 2022-00571 is a new case. This is for a signage right on the front marquee when you come in that is faded and disrepair that it needs to be replaced or removed. Violation was cited on 9/21/22. And as a final reinspection 7/6/2023, the violation still remains.
Let me see.
The faded sign up to the top, which needs to be removed.
Okay, I thought we were talking about the ones at the bottom, because I was gonna say, I took that into consideration when you talked about the numbers. Okay, I see where the white tarp is.
Yes, it used to be a picture, but now it's just faded by the sun.
Okay, and we're asking them to replace it, fix it, what was
Yes.
the,
Because it's blight right now, so we're asking to replace it with something new, or just remove it altogether.
understood? Okay. Let's reset, let's let all the cases travel together and give him 30 days to do that. I'm going to assume that this is a complex that's probably having a lot of issues, because that's a lot of citations.
They have a lot of issues going on over there, and I think part of the problem is this condo association. If it was just apartment building per se, and like that, it'll probably get something done quicker. But I see have done some things, but there's nobody just has reached out because it was more violations than this. Some things have been done, but they
Yeah,
just don't reach out.
you know, based on so many citations, there is a lot going on, so we'll give them a break and we'll just table this one and have all the cases run together, so we'll give them the same 30 days. Hopefully they're either able to fix it or remove it.
And item number 30, case number CEMHS 2022-00561.
CMHS 022, that's for exiting emergency lights that were damaged in the hallway. Violation was open 9/21/22. Violation was found. As a final reinspection, I will say this: some of the buildings have been repaired, but some of them they're still in process, Your Honor. So they're making the repairs to the exit sign and the lights. And I see, because some of them where you just see the wire, I know there was a fixture up there before. They have taken it all the way down, and I've seen the other buildings, they have repaired them, but that was like the last two buildings I got to, they hadn't completed the work. So as a final reinspection, the violation does still remain.
All right, I'm gonna rule on this one, except only because I feel that it could be a safety issue. I believe that they need the emergency lighting, you know.
Hallway
so-
lighting as well, yes.
Yeah, lighting in a building is very important. So based on the unrebutted testimony of the code enforcement officer and the evidence presented, I find that the violation does exist. I find good notice, given proper notice, the owners have failed to appear, hereby find in favor of the city, entering adjudication. Owners have 30 days by which to resolve the violation. If the violation is not resolved by the abatement date, there will be a daily fine amount of $350.
And magistrate, that concludes all the items on today's agenda.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, and stay safe.
You too.
Madam Clerk, off the
Yes.
record, when will I get the orders? Remember, I'm out of the country.
Ooh, give me 1 second. Let me stop sharing. Let me stop recording.